No doubt, it's probably the biggest week of Call of Duty since, well, last year in November. This week is the last week in which we don't have access, or at least at the beginning, to Black Ops 4 as regular consumers and players, and I don't know about you, but I am surely itching for another round of gameplay, and of course, with it coming out later in the week, we'll end up getting all the game time and play time that we can ever even imagine, and so much more with all the content coming in, everything considered. So today we're going to be taking another look at what to expect here within this upcoming week of Call of Duty, and while maybe not necessarily in the sheer amount of topics to cover, the gravity of each one of these is absolutely insane. So today we're going to be taking a look at 5 of these things that we can look out for this week, and with that said, let's just jump right into it. The first thing to really expect this week is a ton of leaks. Leaks, and more leaks are going to be happening over the next 24, 48 to 72 hours as we start to get closer to that launch. Now, we talked about yesterday in our video, the Treyarch is actually doing a very good job at handling these leaks so far. And the way that they're doing that is by combating this by not allowing players past the main menu without a day one update. And that's something that has started last year. World War II is the first time that we saw that, and it looks like it's returning this year. So if you have an early copy, right now it's not really gonna do you much good. You're just gonna be met with an error or information message saying that you need an update to play Black Ops 4. And with everything being that giant online experience, you can't get past and play even anything. So a day one update is probably gonna be happening within the next couple of days. It has to go live before actually day one, which may be ironic as it's branded day one update, but that's something that usually goes live when the servers kick on, so players will be able to access everything at that point. But as for when that will happen, we don't really have any clear indication. Usually happens 2 to 3 days before the game launches. That's usually when servers are soft launched. So if you take a look at how that would work out in the calendar, that'll be either tomorrow or Wednesday. So as for giving you a definitive answer, I don't know exactly, but definitely this week as we progress before the launch of the game, we're gonna see a lot of things come out. Now, if you guys have paid attention, that also includes a lot of things such as other weaponry, maybe camos, maybe the map experience for zombies, a lot of other things, because there is so much that while we saw a ton of the beta, that's still not nearly the entire experience that we'll be getting at launch. So where there's a question that you may have about content coming in the full launch, well, it'll probably be answered at some point in the next upcoming days, but for now, we're still relatively protected by that sort of offline and inability to get past that main menu that early copies have at the moment. But as you look around, you're gonna see a ton more copies coming out in the wild. I think that I've seen on Reddit at least half a dozen posts within the first couple of pages saying, hey, look, another picture of another copy out there in the wild. And so you'll see that along every social media site. So brace for those if you guys either are interested or not interested. The next upcoming days should be rather interesting though, to see what actually is spoiled in a sense and also what is revealed. That said, expect those. That is a big portion of what will be coming in the upcoming days. One thing that I would be really surprised that doesn't happen here within the next coming days as well, probably tomorrow if at any point. It's usually on a Tuesday or maybe Thursday. So I guess it's dependent on which one we want to take a look at, but there's still a lot of things that may be up in the air for questionable gameplay trailers or trailers in general. And I say that in the way of 2 areas in particular. One being the classified trailer, because we have not seen anything regarding that. There was, of course, an image that kind of leaked out, kind of was officially revealed today, which is really that cool promo and key art imaging for classified, but we have never seen anything for gameplay. And if I'm being totally honest with you, if Activision wants people to buy the Black Ops Pass, I sure as hell want to know what I'm buying to get out of that zombies experience. So I'm really surprised that up to this point, we have not seen the classified trailer just yet. So my guess is maybe tomorrow, maybe Thursday. But one thing that I'm also kind of curious to see will return is a live action trailer of some sorts. We've seen these littered throughout the Call of Duty history, and I don't know if we had one last year or not, I can't remember off the top of my head, but they've always been this sort of prominent thing right around release where it's pretty cool. They get some higher end A-list actors or celebrities to be in these trailers, but they really just show off the gravitas of what Black Ops 4 in this case may have in store. And that's sort of a launch pairing, so it would make sense that if there's going to be a trailer, again, it's either tomorrow or Thursday, but if I were to sort of take my mind and say both are coming, I would expect one being tomorrow, that being classified, and maybe Thursday being a launch trailer, but again, I just feel like we have to have at least one of those before launch. After that, the next thing I want to talk about kind of deals in a little bit with leaks, but more so on an official standpoint and something that actually won't get people in trouble, that being a little bit of the embargo time. Usually we end up seeing people being able to stream stream around a day early or so. So that is also something that will tie back into maybe spoiling some things for some people. We don't have an official ETA on when this is just yet, but one thing that I will say and will put out there for anybody that is an aspiring content creator, for somebody that has a brand already that's slightly established, or it may even be massive, who knows, whoever may be watching this, one thing that I will say is just please be incredibly careful with all this kind of stuff. Yes, leaking something, getting a few retweets, getting a few follows off of something would be awesome, but I'm gonna tell you straight up, it is not worth risking whatever platform you're doing, that future you may have on it. Just for a few retweets, a few follows, whatever it may be, it's not worth it. I've seen actual legal action taken on some people that end up leaking some stuff out, and it's not worth it for just the slight clout, if you wanna put it that way, you can get from leaking something. Of course, I can't say that everybody will play by the rules, but just for the safety of putting it out there as kind of a PSA, a public service announcement, if you end up getting something early, just be careful with what you do. That's all I hope. If you're somebody that wants to grow a Twitter following, a YouTube brand, whatever it is, I wish you nothing but the best, but just don't get yourself in trouble. Outside of that, the second to last thing that we'll talk about, surprisingly not the last thing, is of course the big coup de grace, what everybody is highly anticipating here for this week. Friday, the game is finally launching. Black Ops 4 will finally be here. Everybody will finally have their hands on, be able to jump in with multiplayer, zombies, blackout, you name it, whatever you want to play, it's finally gonna be here. 4 maps at launch for zombies if you end up getting the Black Ops Pass, 3 if you do not. What looks to be, I think, 14 maps, I think, at launch with multiplayer. Then Blackout has the entire encompassing experience where it's gonna be your last man standing survival, which I'm super stoked to jump in on. I cannot get enough of Blackout, man. And really, I'm just super excited to see what else we haven't seen just yet. We haven't seen any mention or really any indication as to what the signature and mastercraft weapons will be like, other than they are those variants that you can end up unlocking via challenges. I'm excited to see how in-depth those challenges go, truth be told, because if you have something that is a super awesome weapon variant, I think that the challenge would be super cool to see that it's like a very sweaty or very hard challenge to do that only a select number of players end up getting it. And of course, there are other things that we haven't seen any mention of, like supply drops, surprisingly. We haven't seen anything about that just yet. We know COD points are gonna be in there, but with the sort of late focus in Black Ops 3 to more so cosmetic right upfront purchases that we saw with those contracts and uniforms, I'm curious to know if we end up having some sort of extra loot system like that, or if it's something that is going to be up front, like a sort of Fortnite cosmetic item skin sort of shop that you have where everything is in plain view. We haven't seen anything on that. We, like we mentioned, haven't seen anything with zombies in terms of classified. Super stoked for all that. We don't know anything about the blackout leveling system just yet. We don't know anything about the highest tier camos. Nothing of the sorts. So all of that will be revealed officially to us on Friday as people start to gain their copies. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that it does start the rollout process with everybody at midnight on your specific time zone. So I think that it starts to roll out for everybody around like 9 a.m. Eastern time, which is the Australia and New Zealand time zone for midnight, if I'm not mistaken. And then subsequently throughout the day, everybody will start to get their own reveals here with that. So definitely excited for everybody to finally get their hands on. And of course, I'm super excited to jump in to what Black Ops 4 has to offer. We're gonna be doing a ton of content here up on the channel naturally throughout the weekend and also throughout the year. I'm gonna be streaming a lot as well, and I think I might be making a little bit of a switch to Twitch depending on how we do things here. So I'll leave that link in the description below if you guys want to follow over on Twitch as well. And I'm really excited to hit the stream grind this year really hard. So definitely looking forward to all that kind of stuff. But yeah, man, the big thing with this week, of course, this is not the last point we're going to talk about, but it's definitely the pinnacle. This week is massive simply because the game is launching and I'm so excited, man. But the final thing wrapping this up here is actually dealing with Black Ops 4 a little bit more, but actually something that we can tune in and take a look at, that being a COD times E-League event. And for those of you guys that don't know what E-League is, it's sort of like the higher echelon of the esports world, where it's a televised circuit that actually has made it onto TBS and everything like that. You see all sorts of E-League championships with CSGO, Street Fighter, Tekken, and all sorts of games like that. And now you can add Call of Duty Black Ops 4 to that list as of this upcoming weekend, October 13th. Now, what that is right now is a sort of community event where there's gonna be 12 influencers, and I don't know if that's actually been announced who they are just yet, so your guess is honestly as good as mine. Maybe some of the biggest streamers out there. I know that Ninja has done stuff with Call of Duty, Shroud has done stuff with Call of Duty, Dr. Disrespect has done stuff with Call of Duty and streaming in that sense, so maybe they're a part of this, but as for who else, I don't think it's been announced just yet, but it's taking part with multiplayer, with Blackout, and it's gonna be branded as the COD Nation Challenge for Vets. So takes place at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, starting over on Twitch, be hosted in Atlanta at the E-League Arena, and there's gonna be a lot of cool things that go on here at this one. And the big thing also with me that I'd love to point out is that this is going to be an event for the Call of Duty Endowment, which for those of you guys that don't know what it is, it's a non-profit organization that helps veterans get into job placements and get solid positions after they return home. So I'm all for this sort of thing. If you guys want to tune in, that'll be available to watch over on Twitch, and you can probably see some of your favorite faces here in the community perhaps taking part in this. But that said, that's going to be after the launch of the game, and if you guys aren't busy grinding and you have some time and maybe want to donate some money to the endowment, that is a great time to do so. So that's another big thing that'll be awesome to see here, and the final thing we'll be covering to look out for this week. But that said, that is, we're gonna wrap it up. Dudes, we are so close to Black Ops 4, and this week, of course, is gonna be massive just as a result. So stick it right here up on the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you guys hyped? What are you gonna play first when you jump into Black Ops 4? Multiplayer, zombies, blackout, whatever it is, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Love to get your feedback on that. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to drop a like down below. If you are so new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding Black Ops 4 and blackout and zombies, all that stuff. We got you covered. Dudes, I have so much stuff planned, and I'm so excited to share it all with you guys. So hit that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with all things Black Ops 4, anything relating to the game, we got you covered. And if you guys also want to follow over on Twitter and Instagram, those are the best places to get connected outside of YouTube. Practically live on Twitter and Instagram, so check those out. Those links are in the description below as well. And also, one final mention, we did mention Twitch. That link will be down there if you guys want to follow that as well. But that said, thank you guys so much for watching. Mine has been Espresso. I'll see you guys later. I'm super hyped up for this weekend. Can it be Friday already? I'm gonna go build a time machine real quick. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.